Lomachenko want Teofimo Lopez to give Vasily Lomachenko a rematch, but Lopez refuses. As I can tell from this article right here that I just got done reading, that this article was written by a Lomachenko, somebody who can't accept the fact that Vasily Lomachenko just flat out lost. Okay? Now, they want him to give him a rematch, but Teofimo Lopez says why it's better for Vasily Lomachenko to move on. However, I do believe if these guys fight again, the outcome will be worse and Lomachenko will most definitely be knocked out. But then again, that's just my opinion. But when it comes to Vasily Lomachenko and wanting a rematch, if a rematch was something that he thought that was important, that should have been something that was included in the contract. But yet, nonetheless, Vasily Lomachenko recordedly has went into a fight with no rematch clause and a shoulder injury. That right there wasn't very smart from off jump. Okay, so it very much either says that his team wasn't thinking at all, or they were very convinced that they would beat a Teofimo Lopez. Now, if it was something of some kind of importance, nonetheless, it would be in there. But these guys seem to think that somehow Vasily Lomachenko doing good in a few rounds that somehow warrants another fight. Usually rematches are definitely warranted when the fight is real close or you see something turning out different. The truth of the matter is Vasily Lomachenko froze for 7 rounds, was on freeze for 7 rounds. There's nothing that he couldn't do about it, and he couldn't provide an answer. And when he could provide an answer, it was much way too late. And it seems to be in this article, they're depending on Teofimo Lopez's gas tank. And they're trying to mention the fact that Vasily Lomachenko was injured going into the fight. But nonetheless, as you can see, Teofimo Lopez also had surgery on his foot when he was done. Please keep in mind that he did not bring that up or use that as any type of excuse for anything. Lomosexuals just have a hard time accepting the fact that Vasily Lomachenko lost. They have a hard time accepting the fact that the boxing world has come to the realization that they now have found out that Vasily Lomachenko has been completely overhyped and has been overhyped since the beginning of his existence, I would say, on the boxing scene. Being that Vasily Lomachenko comes from the HBO world, we know exactly how they get down. Now, with that being said, there's other things that Vasily Lomachenko can go do, and one of those main things that Vasily Lomachenko can do is go retire, because there's no place for Vasily Lomachenko to go, and he also doesn't want to fight any of these young lions, hence that's why he jumped into franchise champion the way he did. But there's no way for him to go. At this point, you might as well count Vasily Lomachenko's boxing career as a pretty much open and shut case. A lot of people may fight me on this, but if you pay close attention, I said the same thing with Anthony Yarde. I said after Anthony Yarde has fought and lost to Sergey Kovalev, there's nowhere else for Anthony Yarde to go. His career is over. Now, how long ago was that fight? What has Anthony Yarde done since then? Nothing. The reason why it was such an open and shut case with Anthony Yarde, like it is with Vasily Lomachenko, is because Anthony Yarde spent too much time fighting soft opponents. And he's done that so much, he put himself in a position where he can no longer cherry pick or take layups. Okay, so he's going to have to go in there and fight people who's really on the level. The problem is you're only as good as the level that you've been fighting and practicing and training at. So that leaves somebody like Anthony Yarde in the deep end of the pool trying to fight all the sharks, and he can't even really properly swim because nobody ever took the time to give him swimming lessons. It's the same thing with Vasily Lomachenko. He's been matched very perfectly, and you've been able to think that he's something that he's not. Now when he's put in a position where he has to prove or live up to the hype that he's been given, keep in mind they tapered this man after Muhammad Ali, for crying out loud, you know. Now, I've already suggested one great thing that somebody like Devin Haney can do is to give Vasily Lomachenko a shot at one of the titles again. Therefore, Devin Haney can actually win his belt off of somebody who gave it to him, and that gives a chance for Vasily Lomachenko to get his hands back into the pot. But nonetheless, I really don't see that happening, although I think that's a great idea. The only thing left for Vasily Lomachenko is to retire. He's been able to hide behind smoke screens for a long time. He's been able to get accolades and praises that he really doesn't deserve, just basically pretty much just based off his skin color. But we know how boxing goes and how boxing is ran. So it's about time for Vasily Lomachenko to take it on down to the hype train station and jump on that train and just never look back. Because as far as boxing goes, this kid is pretty much done. He was never nothing special to begin with. If they have been honest with him and been honest with the American public, there's places that Vasily Lomachenko can't go and he can continue to grow, but they overhyped him so fucking much that the fall off that cliff is too steep. And once you hit the ground, you will not survive the impact. And that is the cautionary tale of creating these hype jobs, due to the fact that you always feel that you must have a white champion representing boxing at the utmost, other than the fact that boxing is built off of black and brown. Vasily Lomachenko is not the first, and he definitely will not be the last. They are definitely planning on engineering more Caucasian fighters in the future. It's the history of boxing. It's been here since the days of Jack Johnson, and I don't see it going away anytime soon. But as far as it comes to a rematch with Teofimo Lopez, for homosexuals, I would just tell you, move the fuck on. That train has been passed. The hype is no longer present. It's time to live down here in reality with the rest of us, and maybe you can make your attempts at least trying to become an authentic boxing fan, so you won't get behind hype jobs and won't get your feelings hurt. But then again, that's just my opinion. Bruce Fan, I'm out.